Right, now that's the garb that you're wearing.
That's
which,
one of the outfits I have,
right,
on my clothing.
and that we had talked about on another show. You just felt that that was the right thing
It
to
just
wear.
was the right thing for me to wear.
It
No
just came-
medals, right? Nothing, just cloth.
Right. Although the not the Mennonites, but the Amish would say that the buttons are very bold.
Well, it's
Well, too
long, it's
bad.
covering, it's
Yeah.
in.
Too bad.
The buttons sticking out, that would be young, right?
Right, like
Yeah.
too
So there's a
bold.
balance.
I think they're very nice. You got to have a little balance there.
Well,
Explain a little more, Lynn, about the healing methods you use to help people with their
all
illnesses.
right. Through meditation since around 8 years old or so, that started to pick up a lot of things, like jump starting, as you said before.
8
igniting.
years old you did this. That's amazing.
It's just the conditions fit. It's nothing special.
It's pretty
Yes,
special.
family
When an
special.
8-year-old is healing people, it's very special.
At around 13 years old, I started.
Even Jesus didn't do it. He started at 30. I mean, his mission was 3 years.
Well, he had a beard before me.
And long hair.
And long hair. By 13, I started
And then
feeling.
opened a group called the Beatles.
There you go. Oh man, that's funny. Well, around 13 years old, I started feeling a lot of heat in the hands. The yang energy was kind of filling up, and I started to come out, but not leak out, just emanate for a function. It had a function.
Would you feel an itchy palm?
I would feel just very warm.
Yes, those sensations you feel are different awarenesses in the body. So some people will feel heat, tingling. They may be heavy, light, but it's all the same energy.
Oh, yeah.
And my
Yeah.
hands were just red with all these white spots over it, very, very like emanation of energy. So I
He's
said,
a lucky teenager.
I said, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
And I went to my family members who, some of them were sick, and my intuition just says, put your hands on them and look. So I did. And then I started changing things around. And most people say that the transference of energy is used through a channel. You are channeling. But energy is running through every single pore everywhere. There's nothing that it's taken from to be a channel. It just moves right in. How much you concentrate, you alter the vibrational state of that manifestation. That's where the healing is. And over many years, I started getting deeper and deeper into this. Didn't even bother with school to a degree, but I still got my degree, still went there. But
It's amazing.
I had a lot of teachers who just came and went through meditation, showing me, this is what you do here, this is what you do there. Then
Now, Rudy was your teacher.
Yes.
Now,
we met.
what was your teaching to him?
Well, I have another teacher I study with that teaches different breath methods, and I studied Yi Chuan. There's a style of Kung Fu called Yi Chuan, which means mind fist. And like you were saying earlier, those are key things in the martial arts. Like when you see the power and the demonstrations, you still need your will and your intent, your focus and concentration and awareness. Those are key things you have to come to understand in the mind to make your techniques effortless. But it's, again, the yin and yang. That flip side of the coin is the healing. And what we worked on was Yi Chuan, and he already was predisposed and pretty gifted, so it was real nice working with him. He had energy already. He knew how to concentrate, so he was a great student. And
I could see that.
we worked on different types of projection, and like a lot of people have their own meditation techniques, but one thing in the martial arts is that the grounding is very important. See, most people don't ground themselves enough, and that can take you out in different places.
Explain grounding.
Grounding is your literal connection to the earth. In martial arts, it's in terms of rooting and keeping stability, balance, to keep the leg power. Like the way you see me throw people around, it looks effortless because I'm just rooted and balanced. The earth is...
Threw a lot of people around here between the show.
Oh,
The
yes.
show on TV because
Okay.
you get
Everywhere you
taken
go.
out of the studio.
You center yourself and you literally become magnetically connected to the earth. In the Chinese, they say the heaven earth comes down, the earth comes up and meets in the center of your being to transform. We're like batteries in the middle of two
That's
energies.
interesting because my teacher, before he does a healing, he'll always put his hands on someone's shoulders to ground them.
Yes.
And he never told me to do that. I just would do that, and then after the healing was over, I would do that again to ground them and make sure that they're
Centering.
They know where they are in their body.
Well, what happens
Otherwise,
is
they'd be like,
when we
and
get
then I hold them to make sure they get to the seat without falling.
well, when we're touched, we have a sense of. Some people tense up, but
Yes.
what happens is if you get touched the right way, not to go into the X zone again.
Yes,
you
yes,
learn how
yes.
to. It makes a person relax. You give a person assurance, and they kind of let go. So once you let go and relax, you automatically kind of reconnect to the earth. It opens your mind and your heart. You stop worrying. You have a sense of protection, and
Yes.
you can only heal when you're fully relaxed. Your self-healing links, like Lynn was saying, you're actually just already connected, and the energy's already there, but the state transforms itself, and the
Yes.
healing takes place.
So the energy, when you heal someone, the energy is always there. You just have to put it into.
It's potential. Potential is just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, you have to take it and give it to them.
Give it.
You like a
fill it up with
conduit.
intent. Right. Fill it up with intent, and then you
Right.
use the function of that intent.
Now,
Will.
you have a demonstration for us, Lynn, that maybe you'd like to do that
Sure,
right
sure,
now?
sure.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Getting tangled up in the web. All right. Basically, this would be something I call Shengon, which is a spiritual intuitive cultivation. Basically, going into a state of like stillness and then letting that kind of energy move through. You probably will only get to see motion, but inside there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, notice how rooted he is. This grounding
I
connection
saw
to the
that.
earth.
I saw that. No matter what he's doing, he's very grounded.
Yes.
Sometimes when I do a healing, I find myself moving around people just like that. I mean, I look like that. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's a natural. It's coming through.
Basically,
That was beautiful.
basically that was just adjusting, because you want the body to be adjusted. So you need to adjust the body, adjust the mind. That's really more personal, more as an internal thing for the person practicing. As for the person watching, they would just really have to quiet the mind and not think too much.
It's almost like a meditation,
It is.
watching that.
It is. It's so some would call it spontaneous movement, but the only thing spontaneous of it is that I don't know those forms until you get to that state and you let
Now, did
undiscriminative mind
you
do
know
that.
the movements you were going to do?
All motion is general, kind of like lifting your hand to raise, to go in class and say, "Oh, teacher, pick me." It's general.
Yeah, well,
It's just that's
you know
where
why
it moves.
I asked that also. I mean, it's so beautiful because I mentioned to Rudy that sometimes when I do healings on people that come to me, I just move around them in very strange ways. I don't know what I'm doing, you know, like I'll go like this, I'll go like that. And I used to do it even more dramatically, but that kind of eased down a little bit, and I became
It'll-
more like the way my teacher does. But I would do movements all around them, and you know,
Right.
it looked like an Indian prayer almost. It was
It'll
very
be
strange.
It'll be
Yes.
exaggerated as you go
Yeah.
along, and over time, you'll know just which position will do the trick. It's like
I
getting the
think
right
that's
key
what
for the
it
lock.
is. In the beginning, it
Yes.
was like crazy movement.
Yeah, there's flows. I do healing work also, and sometimes it's like something going through your body, moving to put it at an angle
Right.
or somewhere it has
yeah,
to come
you don't know
from.
what, like, sometimes you feel like you got to get it over here, and then you got to push it away. You know, like a lot
Yeah.
of that. Sometimes you got to push bad stuff away from them. But that's fascinating. It really is. So, you know, maybe we have some questions from the audience, from people. Anybody that may have a question about anything?
Do you picture yourself as
Do we have any time? We don't.
spirit and animal?
Well, what? Do you have a question?
Does he perceive himself as an animal, a spirit, or what does he visualize? What does he
Okay.
see when he does that?
Okay, someone's asking, do you perceive yourself? How do you see yourself, Lynn? Do you see yourself as a person, as universal animal person?
That's a very good question because
it
the
is
matter in
very good.
Shen Gong is spirit and cultivation.